and I'm a Facebook marketing and ad specialist. I help businesses all over the world, and I help them with the latest Facebook marketing techniques. Now, I guess one of the things that's a little bit different to me than to others perhaps is that I really do focus on using Facebook to make money, not just friends. It is a social network, I know, but right now I'm in business mode, and I want to share with you some of the strategies that I use to use Facebook and make money for businesses, and it works really well, okay? But I guess what might be really important to you is that I do concentrate and focus and specialise on building long-term, scalable, sustainable income streams using Facebook. So if that's something that you're interested in, keep watching some of my Facebook Lives. But today's topic is how to create content for Facebook Live. So I know lots of people out there are really interested in doing Facebook Live, but have absolutely no idea what to talk about, and don't want to just jump on Facebook Live and ramble, so to speak, okay? So if this is you, listen up, because I'm going to take you through the 3E, back to front, E formula on how you can use a Facebook Live to really how you can create content using Facebook Live. So listen on up, and I'd like to say hi to everyone. Hi, Karen. Hopefully you're on at the moment. Hey, Tony, how's it going? Hey, listen, what I'd really like you to do, if you do find this information interesting and you do have some friends that you believe would find this information interesting, can you go on and share this Facebook Live? There should be a little button there somewhere that you can share it, just so that we can help you out, and then we can help some of your friends out. If you like what I'm saying or have any questions or whatever else as I go through this, just write your questions in the comments there, okay? So let's get on to how to create great content, or how to come up with ideas for a Facebook Live. So it's a 3E formula. It's nice and simple, okay? First of all, we want to empower. You might want to do a Facebook Live on an empowering type of situation. So that might be an inspirational or motivational story. So for me, for an example, and I'll share one of my stories with you, because I do find it, hopefully it will motivate and inspire you, and then you can get an idea of the kind of empowering story that I'm talking about, okay? So when I first moved, listen, I've had a great life, by the way. I'm very fortunate, but I believe I've made my life like that, okay? But when I first moved over to Australia, I was in my early 30s, and I moved over here knowing really no one at all. I had one family up in Brisbane who I call my Brisbane family, and thank God they were here. But other than that, I really knew nobody, okay? So, and as most young people, I lived from paycheck to paycheck. So move on a few years, met a nice young Kiwi boy, had children, but it was when my second child was born that I thought, you know what, I don't want to be in a job anymore. I wanted to be home for him. I had to go back to work when my first baby was only, she was only far out 3 or 4 months old, so she was a tiny little baby, and this makes me cry when I talk about this. She was a tiny little baby, and I had to send her off to daycare because we couldn't afford to live on one wage. So I went back to work. So I swore when I had Caleb, baby number 2 years later, that wasn't going to happen, that I was going to set up an online business where I could work from home. Now, it didn't come easy, but the steps that I put in place, and this is what I want to share with you in my motivational story, is I set the goal, and I just went for it, and I did whatever I could to do for it. So I found mentors that were doing what I wanted to do, which was an online business, and do you know what? I followed them, and I did what they told me to do, and I stayed up. I did what it took, so looked after my children during the day, worked during the day, worked on an online business during the night, and sometimes till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then I'm waking up to children a couple of hours later. I did that for so many months, like probably the first year. There was very little sleep going on, still looking after children and running, because I run, okay. a few years on, I have a very successful business now, in fact, a couple, and I have a whole group of people that I coach, and are absolutely fantastic. In fact, they're actually online with me now. I'm holding a webinar showing how to do a Facebook Live. Anyway, I just want to share that motivational story with you because I believe anyone can do it. Anyone can make things happen. Just set yourself that target. It can be a goal, it can be a target, whatever you want to call it, and you do what it takes to get there. Okay, believe strong enough, take action, find people that are already doing it, and follow them, and that will certainly help. Okay, so that's the type of motivational story that you can tell. That one there happens to be dear to my heart, and it's why I am here today and why I continue to succeed. It's because I don't accept that. I don't accept that it's not going to work. Okay, and let's put it this way: if I do try a business idea and it's not as good as some of the other ones, I might move on. But the end goal is still the same on what I want to do with my life and help myself and my kids have freedom. So that might be your inspirational, motivational story as part of your Empower, the 3 E's, coming up with content. So we want to empower people. It might be about a book that you've read. So you might want to talk, you might want to do a Facebook Live. You might have read a really, really great book. At the moment, actually, a guy, John Hallaby, has put me onto a book. It's called Contagious, Why Things Catch On. It's absolutely fantastic, talking about, story. It talks about this. It talks about storytelling and stuff like that. So you might be reading a book and you might read something in that book that you really, really like, okay? So that might be worth doing a Facebook Live just to discuss it. Say, hey, listen, I've been reading this book, Contagious. I just wanted to cover some of the key learnings that I've learned from it that might help you. It might be a video you've watched. It might be discussing a podcast. I listen to podcasts every day, so it might be something like that. It might be about facing fear. The first time you went on Facebook Live, it was super scary, but you got through it and went through the other side, and that might help your people. So anything that's to do with maybe facing fear. For me, and a few people know this, not many, but considering who most people would know of me today, but when I first started teaching Facebook, one of the first things I had to do was get up on stage and teach it, and I was extremely shy about it. Wait a minute. People would be surprised to think that I'm shy, not around people I know, but yes, initially when I first meet you guys, I'm shy, you just don't know it, right? So jumping up in front of a whole group of people to me was a massive big fear. I didn't want to do it. I did, and now I love it. Oh, it's such a passion, getting up on stage and just sharing my information and knowing it's helping people just lights me up. It's more than anything else, okay? So it might be facing a fear. It might be, sorry, I'm just looking at some of my notes on some of the stuff. I'd love to have it all in here, but it's okay on a Facebook Live to check out some notes so that you're not necessarily blabbering like I might be right now. You might want to share a quote or something like that as well. Or, like I said, share a book. So that's empowering. So it might be inspirational, motivational, storytelling. You might want to face some fear. You might want to share a quote or something. So it could be entertaining, the second E. So empower, or you might want to entertain. Now, it might be a nice, fun story about something that's related that your potential target market might relate to. It might be something adventurous that you've done that is going to relate to it. So, mine might be, if I went talking about my marathon running people, I might talk about, hey, listen, the time that I jumped on the time that I trained for the Boston Marathon, and no matter what, I was going to make it happen, and I jumped on the plane, and I did the Boston Marathon. It was absolutely fantastic. But also what happened afterwards was the people I met. And being at the airport, walking through the airport with my Boston Marathon gear on and my medal on because someone told me I should wear it, and I was like, oh, and they're like, you did the Boston Marathon, it's important. And there was a lovely couple there from San Diego sitting in the Boston airport at the same time as me, and they called me over and they said, did you do the Boston Marathon? I'm like, yeah. And they said, sit down, we'd love to chat with you. So found out that they were on the same plane as I was, back to San Diego where they lived, and I hadn't booked accommodation because I'm a last minute girl, and they invited me back to stay at their place. They were empty nesters, they seemed lovely. I thought, what's the worst that can happen? And I ended up staying with them for over a week while I was in San Diego, going for walks. They showed me all the running tracks and things like that. And now we're really good friends, and I'm going back to visit them again when I go to Social Media Marketing World in a couple of weeks, or at the end of March. So that's a fun story, I think, and an adventurous story. And that would actually probably work well for, my marathon niche. Listen, don't be afraid to show off your gear when you're doing a marathon, because you're pretty damn cool for having done it, and meeting new people and learning new life experiences all through the power of running. But it also might be a business story as well about opening up and taking chances and speaking to people and stuff like that. So fun. It might be adventurous. It might be a real life event. You might want to combine the whole lot as well. It might be a sporting event like what I just said there. But one of the things that you might want to do in all this is make sure that you use your sense of humour as well, okay? It is really important to let your personality come through so people can get to know you, okay? If you don't have a great personality, then maybe you can use that as well, because people are going to like you for what you are. So always make sure that you do let your own personality shine through. In terms of me, when I'm doing stuff, I'm extremely funny, as you guys know, and if you don't laugh at me, I'll just laugh at my own jokes anyway. So the 30, so we've got empower, we've got entertain, and the 30 we've got is to educate, okay? So this is a really, really good step, is we want to educate people and teach them something. And it's really cool to do that, obviously, on a Facebook Live. So it might be value-driven. We might want to teach them something. So what I'm sharing with you today is more probably a teaching, with a little bit of the other stories in between as examples. But ultimately, I'm teaching you. I'm teaching you the how to create content using Facebook Live with the 3E formula. So this would be a more educational Facebook Live, even though I'm throwing in all the other stuff as well. And it might be some helpful tips and tricks, or you might want to be discussing one of your products or one of your services or whatever else, and be talking about the pros and cons to, if you do this, this is why we would, this is why we do Facebook Live. These are the pros to doing Facebook Live on your page, as opposed to your personal profile. Or these are the cons to doing Facebook Live on your page as opposed to your personal profile. So that's basically how you can use Facebook Live, how to create content with Facebook Live. If you have any questions, if you can put them in the question box there. Karen, you might want to make a comment, thanks, so that I can do a demo on this afterwards as well. If you do have any questions, make sure you put them in the comments there. If you are and have really liked this Facebook Live, what I'd like you to do is let me know right now in the comments that what you found was really, really interesting. I'd also like you to let me know what else you want to hear about. I've been doing Facebook for the last 7 or 8 years. My whole focus is Facebook, predominantly Facebook ads, Facebook retargeting, but I have managed hundreds of businesses with Facebook. So if there's anything that you specifically want to know and want a Facebook Live about, can you please let me know in the comments, and I might be able to answer those questions before I end this Facebook Live, which has been going for 13 whole minutes. Time does fly. So one of the things, actually, very, very quickly, one of the reasons why I'm asking you to put comments in there is in a Facebook Live, we have a formula for doing a Facebook Live. I've just shown you the 3 E's, empower, educate, and entertain, how to create content. But the formula, as such, takes you through at the end, always in a Facebook Live, do a call to action. Get your audience to do something. So whether it be go to a landing page to register for a webinar, get a free gift about the Facebook Live, or just comment there or share it with friends and so on. So thanks Strategy, thanks Anna, thanks Tony, thanks Karen, and you guys rock, and I'll be doing a few more Facebook Lives over the next week, showing you how you can use Facebook Live, how you can use Facebook ads. For now, see you later.